Yeah, good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. So yesterday we started computer fundamentals, and I explained some of these concepts, right? What is operating system? What is IP address? Public IP, private IP, host name, ping command, LAN and WAN, etc. Right? What is Windows firewall? Right? So what is Windows firewall, etc. And remote desktop connection. Okay. And the next few things that you have to do from your side is start using these Windows shortcuts if you are not using them, right? So what are those Windows shortcuts that every software engineer should know, right? So first one is Alt Tab. What is Alt Tab? What is Alt Tab used for? If you want to switch between open windows or programs, you use Alt Tab. Right. Suppose I have Excel sheet and I have Zoom meeting and I have Chrome open, or else let me open Notepad++. And let's say I want to switch between these two windows. Okay. Switch between these different windows. Okay. Switch between Chrome and that one. So you can use Alt Tab for that, isn't it? Right. So if you press and hold Alt Tab, it will be showing the running programs, all the running programs. And if you want to choose a particular one, you can go like this, right? So, and if you want to open Notepad, let's say Notepad++, right? So you can go like this. Clear, guys? So all these shortcuts are like every software engineer should know and should be using this basically. Okay. So and next, suppose there are multiple windows open on your machine, right? Guys, those who are from particularly from non-computers background, these are for you only, right? Those who are from CSC and EC, of course, those who are from non-computers background also, few of you may be already knowing this and using this, but this is particularly for some, those who are from non-computers background particularly, right? Suppose you have multiple programs open and you want to go to desktop. The shortcut for that is Windows plus D, like this, isn't it? So suppose I open Chrome now and I want to switch. I opened multiple programs. Let's say I opened multiple programs. Okay. And I want to directly go to desktop. Use Windows D for desktop over here. You can see that, I have highlighted this D for desktop. Windows E for File Explorer. Okay. So if you want to go to desktop, Windows D. Clear. And if you want to open the File Explorer, Windows E for Explorer. So you will get a File Explorer. Here you can see the title, right? So you can see it over here. This is File Explorer, or this is also called as Windows Explorer. And next shortcut is F11. What is this F11? F11 is to maximize the windows. For example, right now I am using Chrome browser and you are seeing all these tabs, different tabs. Now, let me show you what happens when you click F11, right? When you click F11, it will, like this slideshow will be maximized. This window will be maximized like this. I used F11 now, right? Now you can see that, the whole slide, it is showing the whole slide, isn't it, guys? So it is not showing the taskbar. It's not showing different tabs in the browser. Clear, guys? What is this F11 used for? And again, if you want to revert back, again click F11. Clear, guys? And Control C, Control X, Control V, you know that. All of you know that, right? I hope all of you know that. And what is quick access? Next important thing is quick access. So so in Windows operating system, we have a wonderful feature called quick access. Let's say, for example, I want to go to every time I want to go to this folder. Okay. Let's say, for example, I want to go to G Drive, Tools, Apache JMeter, Bin, WebTools. I frequently access this folder. Now, if you pin to quick access, if you have an option over here, right, under File, there is an option called pin to quick access. So once you add that, right, one shortcut will be added here like this, right? And you see a pin symbol over here. You are seeing a pin symbol over here, right? So that is quick access. Clear, guys? You can make any folder as you can add any folder to the quick access. Let's say, for example, Lotus 13 July report. So if you want to frequently visit this folder, just go to that folder and click on this pin to quick access. Now you see here, like one shortcut will be added here. Observe here. Once I do this, select this pin to quick access. See here, one shortcut got added here just now. You observe that, right? Load test starting July report, isn't it? If you want to remove it again, you can click on the pin symbol over here. To remove that, I think you right click and you will get an option unpin. Yes. So if you right click here, you have an option to unpin from quick access. Now it is gone. Clear guys? So this is quick access. So this will help you to access any browse any folder very fast, right? You can. So next time if you want to open that folder, use Windows Explorer, Windows C or File Explorer and select that folder, whatever you want to access from this quick access like this. So you directly go to that F drive instead of going to F drive, JMeter scripts for review, October 2022 evening batch, right? You can directly go to this folder using quick access feature. Clear guys? So request everyone to please start using these Windows shortcuts. Okay, particularly those who want to keep experience, right? So you have to be aware of all these shortcuts. Clear guys? Now, am I audible guys? Is it clear?
Sure.
Right. So once you keep experience and once you join the company, if you are searching for keyboard or if you are not using these shortcuts, remember you will be easily caught. They will easily find out that like you are not having genuine experience. Okay, even though you are having experience, even though you are having genuine experience, if you are not using these shortcuts, and if you are when typing, if you are searching on the keyboard, they will start suspecting you. Your teammates or your team lead, project lead will start suspecting you, even though you have genuine experience. Clear guys? So for those who are not good in typing, I strongly recommend to learn this, use these typing tutorials. Just type, Google search for typing tutorials online and pick any other any website like either typing.com or learntyping.org, any of these websites, and practice typing. So without seeing the keyboard, you should be able to type on your system. Understood, guys? So use any of these typing tutorials and practice typing, guys. Okay. And next shortcuts that I want everyone to use is Zoom meeting shortcuts, because for the next 3 to 4 months or next 2 months at least, we are going to use this. You have to use this Zoom meeting, and these are the important shortcuts. For example, if you want to mute or unmute yourself, use Alt A. Observe here, everything has some, there is a reason why this shortcut is selected. Windows D, D for desktop, Windows E, E for Explorer, isn't it? And in the same way, Alt A for audio here. Alt A. So suppose if you are on Zoom meeting now and most of you are muted, right? All of you are muted. If you want to temporarily unmute yourself, right? Use Alt A on your keyboard, or else press and hold the space bar on your keyboard. Can you please press and hold the space bar? Guys, please do this. Press and hold the space bar. Now you are unmuted, right? Once you release the space bar, you will be, that is to temporarily unmute. So press and hold the space bar is to temporarily unmute yourself. Okay. In the same way, if you want to turn the video on or off, the shortcut is Alt V. Alt for the meaning of, what is the meaning of alter, guys? What is the meaning of alter? Alt is the shortcut for alter. What is the meaning of alter? What is the meaning of alter, guys? Alteration antar kada. So if you go to a mall and buy some dress, etc. So you will give for, if the measurements are not suitable to you, so you will give for alteration. Yes or no? So what is the meaning of alter, guys? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of alter? Alter means change. Okay, that is the meaning of alter. Alter means change. Okay. Alter means change. So in the same way, what are these shortcuts for? If you want to turn on or off your video, you can use Alt V. And space bar is like press and hold the space bar is to temporarily unmute yourself, right? Alt H is to open the chat, right? And Alt S is to share your screen. Suppose once we start scripting, you may need to share your screen and show me some issue or that you are facing, right? So Alt S is the shortcut for that. Clear, guys? So start, guys, please be responding. Please be responding. And once we start the tool, I want everyone to turn on the camera. Okay. So I want to make sure that everyone is focusing on the session. So that is, that is mandatory. So before you pay the fee itself, pay the fee only if you are ready to turn on your camera and do the assignments also. You have to do daily assignments and share the script to me for review. Okay. So these are mandatory. Clear, guys? Scripting hands-on mandatory for every participant. So if you are ready for that only, pay me the fees. Otherwise, please don't join the training. Don't continue in the training. Clear, guys? And I will not allow. So once we start the scripting, if you are not working on the scripts and if you are not sharing it to me, I will not allow for the next session. If you already paid the fees, but if you are not okay with any of these terms and conditions, let me know immediately. I'll refund you the fees also. Clear, guys? So that is for your own benefit. I don't get anything if you share your scripts to me. So in fact, that will take some more time for me to review your scripts. But that is the thing, that is the main reason why we are able to achieve 70 to 80% of success ratio without any proxy and without backdoor. That is the main reason, because no other trainer looks into your scripts and verifies whether you are working, you are doing correct or not. You are doing the scripting, correct or not. Understood, guys? So I do that. I do the script review. Just now you saw one folder, right? These are all scripts of October 2021 batch students. Are you with me, guys? Right? So I will review each and every script and I will share the review comments to you through the batch tracker. ఈ బ్యాచ్ ట్రాకర్ లో అప్డేట్ చేస్తాను స్క్రిప్ట్ రివ్యూ కామెంట్స్ అన్ని whatever is there in the batch tracker, right? So this is your March 2023 batch tracker. So here I will add one more sheet and I will share the review comments over here. So first sheet is batch tracker. And this is the reason why my students are able to crack interviews on their own, face-to-face interviews also, even in face-to-face interviews also. So for each application that I cover, I will create one sheet over here. Okay. And you will be sharing the scripts for review and I will be reviewing the scripts and sharing the review comments and I will be giving the ratings. All right. So some people are in your batch already paid the fees. So if you are not okay with these terms and conditions, I am ready to refund the fees also. Okay. I will refund the full fees without any single rupee deduction. But you should be ready for the terms and conditions. Then only continue. Otherwise, you can take your fee and you can go for some other alternative. All right. So and master should scripting is mandatory, assignments is mandatory, and weekly assessment also mandatory. Weekly test attempting the weekly test is also mandatory. The next so this is about Windows shortcuts that I want everyone to practice. And host file in Windows OS port numbers, and I will cover this later. So another thing that I want to start is Excel basics trainings. So observe here. So Excel and Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word are required for every software engineer, be it manual testing, automation, performance, any type of testing. So these are mandatory. Excel and Word, we use it almost on a daily basis. So you need to practice, you need to learn Excel and just give me a moment. You need to practice Microsoft Word and Excel regularly. You have to start working on it. I will be giving as an assignment in the Google Classroom. So once you confirm your joining and pay the fees, I will be adding to the Google Classroom and the WhatsApp group for your batch. So, and I'll be starting giving assignments over here. Right? I'll start giving assignments over here. So I have added few people who already paid the fees and confirmed their joining. Clear, guys?
Yes, clear.
Guys?
Yes, clear, sir.
Yeah. So how to learn this Excel basics? To what extent it is required is You need not be an expert in Excel, or you need not be an expert in Word. So what all you require is, I'll show you some simple way to open Excel and open a blank sheet, blank spreadsheet, right? Or blank workbook, and go to help, show training. There is an option called show training. If you are using a like genuine version of this Windows, right, you will have this option. But if you are using cracked version, you may not have this option. Please check on your machine right away. ఇప్పుడే చెక్ చేయండి, those who are having and those who are not having. Those who are not having, I will give you an alternate solution. So click on show training, and there will be some videos over here on Excel basics. And scripting will be started only after 2 weeks. So that's why meanwhile, learn this typing, learn this Excel, learn these Word basics. Somehow taking some time. Let me open Word meanwhile. Here also, once you open a blank document, you go to help. If you go to help, you have an option called show training, right? And you will have some short videos over here, both Excel and loading somehow. Okay. Let me pause record. Here in the help file, right? Here you will be having some basic videos on Word basics and Excel basics over here, right? So please go through those videos. That's it. That's enough. You need not take any separate training for this. Just go through these videos, whatever those are provided by Microsoft. That's enough. That's good enough. More than enough. Anyone able to see those training videos? Can anyone of you share your screen and show that? Somehow seems like some issue on my machine. Is there any network lag from my side? Is my voice clear or is it breaking?
It's clear, sir.
Clear only, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yesterday I had some patchy internet, so today I know, like, I shifted to some other location. There is some issue, temporary issue at my home. So I came to another location actually for this session. All right. And I'm using mobile data. Maybe, that's the reason these are not getting, or maybe this is a system issue. Not sure. Anyways, so anyone, one of you, please share your screen. If you have that, if you are seeing those help videos, can you please share your screen? I'll pause recording. Many thanks, Artha. So now see here. So once you go to Excel, open Excel and help. If you click on show training here, isn't it? You click on show training over here and you will get these Excel video trainings. So please go through these videos. It will be hardly 5 to 10 minutes only. Each video will be only 5 to 10 minutes. So please go through them. And this is mandatory because every software engineer will be using Excel and Word for sure. No matter whatever the company is, no matter whatever the project is. So everyone, need this Excel and Word. So can you show me the Word also, Vakta? Open WinWord or MS Word. Word, just type Word in the search box, Windows search box. So here in the, see, yes. Type Word. Yeah, open Word app, Microsoft Word, right? And blank document, open a blank document. Blank document. At the top, you have a blank document, right? Yes. Yeah, go to help. From the menu bar, go to help option. Right side, right. Yes. Next to view, there is help. Very next to view. Yes. Show training, right? And you have videos over here. See, Word for Windows training. You have quick start, write and edit. Can you open one of them? Write and edit. Open the second video. Yes, click on the second one. Yeah, add and edit text. Click on the link. Yes. So the video will be played like this, right? Yeah, just click on play. Perfect. Right? It is a 1-minute video. That's it, isn't it? So please go through these videos and learn, those who are not from computers background, or those who forgot Excel and Word, or those who don't know, did not use Excel and Word, please start learning them. Okay. And I will be giving an assignment in the Google Classroom. So please, once you submit, right, once you complete each video, update in that Google Classroom. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
All right. So thanks, Satta. Stopping your screen share. Some issue on my machine, some issue with my Microsoft Word and Excel. It's getting low again. All right. Next, static IP and dynamic IP. The next concept is static IP and dynamic IP. So yesterday we discussed about IP address. What is IP address, right? And how to check the IP address, isn't it? So you remember yesterday IP address was 172 something. My machine IP address was some 172, etc., etc. Did I note it down in the class document? 1 second. I have opened, I have started a Word document also. This is your class notes basically. So yes, this is my IP address, right? Yesterday this was my IP address. Yes or no? I have noted down, I have pasted
Sir.
here. I copied from the command prompt and pasted here. Now let me show the IP address now. Okay. So how to check the IP address? How to check the IP address, guys? Please speak out.
IP config.
IP config. Right. Now see what is the IP address? 20.10.2. Oh, okay. So yesterday also I connected through mobile data. That's why it is showing, now also I'm connected to mobile data only. That's why it is showing the same IP. Okay. That's why it is showing the same IP. Got it, guys? If you are connected to Wi-Fi network, so it may change Wi-Fi to from Wi-Fi one Wi-Fi to another Wi-Fi. It will be changing, right? So generally we will get a dynamic IP basically. Basically, okay. So yesterday and today it is same, but like suppose if we check for after 1 week or something, when you connect to the same mobile data, it will change. The IP address that we get is not a static IP, it's a dynamic IP, right? So the IP address which we get by default is static IP. We'll get we'll get dynamic IP, but not static IP. If you want to get static IP address, means if you don't want to get that IP address changed, right? So you need to pay some additional amount to your ISP, internet service provider. Okay, that is a different story. But remember that remember that the IP address that we get will be a dynamic IP, but not static. It will not be remaining same every time. Okay, once in a month or something, I don't know on what basis it will change, but once in a month or twice in a month, it will be changing. The IP address, private IP address will be changing. Okay, but public IP address will be same. Right? Next thing is FQDN. FQDN stands for fully qualified domain name, and VPN stands for virtual private network. So this is important. VPN stands for virtual private network. So in most of the projects we will be using this, we will be having VPN to connect to the client applications, our clients, your application, your project database, right? So the reason why I cover all this is when you are attending an interview, right? So interviewers, if they get a doubt that whether you are having genuine experience or not, they will ask these type of questions. Because if you are really having experience, definitely you will know these concepts. At least you will know the full form at least. Got it, yes. So that's the reason I cover these concepts, yes. Okay. So VPN stands for virtual private network. Okay. Next. And WinSCP PuTTY, I'll cover it later. Environment variables also, I'll cover it later. WinSCP is a tool. WinSCP and PuTTY are tools used to connect to remote machines. WinSCP and PuTTY. Particularly for Linux, connecting to Linux machines, these tools are most helpful. We'll discuss this later. So for the for today and tomorrow, I want you to work on Excel basics and Word basics. I'll just give an assignment in the Google Classroom. And I think let me pause recording for a moment. So please work on the given assignment. These are the prerequisites. These comment are prerequisites. So later on, I'll create a new topic, that is load runner. I'll create once the load runner is started, I'll create a new topic and give assignments under that. So these are the prerequisites for performance testing or any testing career. So please learn these Excel basics and Word basics. Start immediately. All right. Next. Now let me start with software development lifecycle. Okay. So software development lifecycle means what happens in a software, whenever some project is being developed, right? What happens from the beginning to the ending of a project, right? So that is software development lifecycle. So any software development lifecycle starts with requirement gathering and requirement analysis. Requirement gathering and requirement analysis. So first, so suppose if some client or a company wants to develop some software for themselves, right? So they will give that project to some software service organization, right? Who are into development, and that service-based company will ask a requirement, ask the client about the requirement first. 1 second, there is some background. Any software project development starts with requirement analysis. First, service-based company who is working on that project, they will collect the requirements and they will analyze the requirements. And the development architect will design the application, right? For every project, there will be an architect. So, for development, there will be a development architect. For testing also, there will be some performance testing architect. Okay, most of the companies will be having performance test architect. So my last designation was performance test architect in Qualizib. So this was my last organization. This was my last organization in which I worked as a performance test architect. Clear, guys? Now, in the same way, every project will have development architect and testing architect also, right? So that architect will design the application. Development architect will design the application. So in the designing phase, the team will decide what programming language to use and a project or application. What is meant by project, guys, by the way? Software project and ante. What is meant by a software project? Guys, am I audible, guys?
Sir, audible, sir.
So project to product, there are two terms. Okay, software project and product. What is the difference between these two?
For a specific project to a
yes.
to a market is a project or develop a specific project to a company. It is a project. It is a product, and to develop a project for overall market is called a project.
Okay. So this is the best description I can see here, best definition that I can see. So product is like ready to use solution which is built by the company and sold to different customers, right? Product is like ready to use solution which is built by the software company and sold to different customers. For example, did you hear this Finacle? There is a banking application developed by Infosys called Finacle. Finacle Universal Banking Solution. Did you hear this anytime? Finacle is in India, most of the banks are using this Finacle software. Finacle banking software, core banking solution. And that was developed by Edgeware Systems. That is nothing but Infosys. Infosys' own company. This is one of the product-based company called Edgeware Systems. You need not remember this, but remember that Finacle software is a product of Infosys. It is a product of Infosys, means that was developed by Infosys and sold to multiple banks. Okay. Whereas a project means if you are working for some specific company, that is called as a project. Suppose Infosys is working for a particular company, let's say IRCTC is developing some software for IRCTC. Clear, guys? Let's assume that Infosys is developing a software for IRCTC, particularly for IRCTC. That is called as a project. But if they develop a particular software and sell it to multiple clients, that is called as a product. Finacle is a product of Infosys. Clear guys? Right? And in India, most of the banks use Finacle software. See here, there are a lot of banks who use Finacle. Andhra Bank, Axis Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, Corporation, Dena Bank, Federal Bank, ICICI Bank, right? All these banks are using that Finacle software. Did you hear this Finacle anytime? Or no? See how many banks are using this Finacle. See here. ICICI, IDBI, Indian Overseas, IndusInd Bank, Karnataka Bank, Kotak Mahindra, etc., etc. Right? Most of the banks in India are using this Finacle software. So Finacle is a product of Infosys. They developed that product, that software, and sold to multiple companies. Clear, guys? Coming back to this, so the designing of that application, when you are designing any application, right? So they will discuss, the development team will discuss, what, in which programming language that application should be developed, what backend, what is the database to use, right? What are the front end to use? All these will be decided in the designing phase. So once the application designing is done, then implementation phase will start. Implementation phase means nothing but coding or developing that project or product, whatever it is, project or product. So implementation means developing that code, writing that code is called as implementation. So once the application is developed, right? So testing also will be started. Nowadays, testing will be started along with the development. But previously, before Agile came into picture, right? You have a new term called Agile, right? What is this Agile? We'll discuss that. Just I'll write it down here. Agile methodology. Remember this terminology. Agile methodology, waterfall methodology, We'll discuss what is this Agile and methodology. Right? We'll discuss what is this Agile methodology and waterfall methodology in the coming up session, in the next session. So, while the software is being developed, right? Sorry, it will be tested, right? Every product, not only software, every product that you use will be tested, isn't it? So suppose you buy a bike, or you buy, even a trouser or a shirt, right? They will do the quality testing, and they will, then only they will send it from the factory. Yes or no? Even you buy if you buy any trouser or a pant, right? So they will test it. Someone will test it, and then only they will release it from the factory, right? In the same way, software is also, every software project and product, whatever it is, that will be tested, and then only it will be released, right? By the development team, released from the development. Okay, then only that application will go into production. So that is called as evolution phase. An application, deploying an application in production environment is called evaluation phase. What is meant by production environment? Okay, what is meant by production? What is meant by production environment, guys? So live environment. This production ante live lo తీసుకెళ్ళడాన్ని live లో రిలీజ్ చేయడాన్ని production అంటారు. Production environment అంటారు. Live environment. That means, for example, so if you type, you are using any banking website, any website, not only banking website, ICICIbank.com. So I am having an ICICI Bank account, and I am using it as an end user, right? Retail user. So this is production environment. This is nothing but production environment. Clear, guys? Or if you are using IRCTC, Redbus application, all these are production environments where the end user uses the application. That is the environment where end users use the application, or that is also called as live environment. Clear, guys? So once testing is done, once the software is tested, right, then it will go into production. That is called as evaluation phase. So these are the different phases in a software development. Okay, these are the phases in the software development life cycle. Different phases in software development life cycle. In short, that is called as SDLC. Okay. Any queries here, guys, or shall we move to the next slide? Please speak out. Sessions will be more interactive once we start, camera, once, everyone starts their camera, sessions will be more interactive. Okay. I know till then, some of you may be looking at phone, mobile, or some of you may not be focusing. Some of you, not saying all of you, but some of you may not be focusing. Right? I'll make you focus. Try to get 100% of your focus. Okay. And now before going to testing life cycle, next I will cover testing life cycle. Okay. So before going to testing life cycle, this is my favorite quote about testing. So to tell somebody that you are wrong, that they are wrong is called as criticism, and to do so officially is called as testing, isn't it? So what is software testing? Testing the application, testing the software application, right? For if there are any defects, right? That is called as software testing. Yes or no, guys? So to tell some, if there are any mistakes, our job is to find out the mistakes in the software, isn't it? As a software engineer, our job is to find out the mistakes, isn't it? To tell somebody they are wrong is called as criticism. So if you say that, you are doing something wrong, that is called as criticism. But to find out mistakes in something, right? That is called as testing. To do so officially is called as testing. Understood the quote, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us discuss testing life cycle. I have 10 more minutes. I'll try to cover as much as possible. Now, in this software development life cycle, I am not interested in this requirement phase. I am not interested in designing phase or coding phase. We are interested in this testing phase, isn't it? We are interested in this testing phase. Now let us see what are the different phases in the software testing. The testing law, what all we do as part of this testing. Let's understand that. And that makes your testing life cycle. That is called as testing life cycle. Okay. Now, once the developers start writing the code, right? I'll go to slideshow mode. Once the developers start writing the code, right? That means, let's say, some team of software developers are working on developing a application, web application or a mobile application, mobile app, right? So let's assume that they are developing that application in Java. Java is still very popular for any application, right? So let's assume that, developers are writing some code in Java, and you may be having Java in your academics, right? How many of you have Java in your academics? No one had Java in their academics. Guys, I won't ask any questions, guys, but some of you would be having Java in your academics, as of now.
Yes.
Huh? No? Okay. Someone is responding in chat. Why? You can please speak out. Please speak out in the meeting. What is this? Siraj. Siraj, can you please unmute? So please speak out, Siraj.
Yes, sir. In my academics, we have a Java course, sir.
Right. So let's assume that a team of developers are developing an application in Java. Now, what is the unit of code in Java? So in Java we have something called as a Java class, right? Each piece of code we call it as a Java class, isn't it? So once developer wrote some Java class, right? They will first test the code, and that is called as unit testing, right? Testing is a unit of code. Unit here means Java class. Once a developer writes one Java class, so that project may be having hundreds of Java classes at least. At least hundreds of Java classes will be there. So once a developer writes a Java class, he will test that first, whether it is working as per the requirement or not. Yes or no? So that is called as unit testing. So this unit testing is also called as white box testing. And why it is called as white box testing, we will discuss that. So unit testing is white box testing done during the development or coding phase of an application by the developers. Developers themselves does that unit testing. Let me use Spotlight. Right? So unit testing is a white box testing done during the development or coding phase of an application by the developers. Right? Unit test isolate a section of code and verify its correctness. Unit test isolate a section of code means each class, each Java class will be tested and verified for correctness, right? Where a unit may be an individual function, method, procedure, module, or an object, right? If you are from development background, you may be knowing all this. What is function, what is method? Function and method are almost same. And what is a procedure, module, or an object, right? If you are not from development back, or if you are not from computers background, ignore it. Okay, not an issue. I will give you some examples. For example, this is about software testing. So let us take some, you purchased a two-wheeler. Let's say you purchased a two-wheeler, right? There will be hundreds of parts in a two-wheeler, right? In a two-wheeler, all the parts will be developed by the same company. You bought a Honda bike, guys. Okay. So prati part to Honda ne tayar chestunna.
No,
No, sir.
different types are there.
You will get, headlight will be manufactured by one company, tires will be manufactured by one company, wheels will be manufactured by another company, engine may be developed by some other company, right? Or, like Honda is the manufacturer, major manufacturer for, for Hero Honda and Honda also, right? Still now also, like, all the engines, I mean, of course, maybe Hero Honda started its own development, its own engines now, but previously, Honda is a single company, right? Before splitting. So they only used to develop those engines, right? And the tires will be manufactured by some other company. Headlight will be manufactured by some other company. Engine will be developed by some other company, right? Engine, again, there are hundreds of parts. A spark plug will be developed by some other company. So that is called as a unit. Each part of a something unit, entity is called as a unit. Yes or no? Unit means a small part of something. Now, in the same way, so now if the headlight manufacturer completes the manufacturing, right, they will test it whether it is working or not. Yes or no? They will test it and then they will supply to the assembling unit, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Right? Or a tire is manufactured, they will test it and they will, they will let it go out of the factory. They will test it that make sure that there are no defects, and then they will send it out of their factory, isn't it? So every part of the code will be tested here. So that part of the code is called as a unit, right? Just like every part of a vehicle is tested individually, here also every small piece of code will be tested by the developer, and that testing is called as unit testing. Meaning of unit is small part of something, that is called as a unit. So a unit may be an individual function, method, procedure, module, or object. Module means nothing but combination of classes is called as a module. Now, this unit testing is also called white box testing because developers know each and every part of that, each and every internal of that code, right? Because those are the guys who are developing that code, right? So they know in and out of that code. So that's why it is called as white box testing. Once we discuss black box testing, then you will understand why it is called as, why this is called as white box testing, and why testing done by the functional testing team is called as black box testing. So once I explain this, you will get a clear idea why you will know why this is called as white box testing. Now, so is it clear so far? A unit means small piece of code is called as a unit, right? Now that will be as soon as some piece of code is developed, right? So that will be tested by the developers, and that is called as white box testing. Now, after writing some Java classes, right? They have to integrate together, right? I'll take some example for this. Okay, I'll take one Java application example. Let's say, for example, Gmail is developed using Java language. Let's say assume that Gmail is developed using Java language. Now, hold on. Now, single developer cannot develop this complete Gmail application, right? One developer, one team, complete Gmail develop cheyaleru. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? So in Gmail is not a simple thing, right? Observe here in Gmail you have Google Business, Google Maps, YouTube, right? Google Play, Google Meet. There are a lot of things, isn't it? So a team of developers may be working on YouTube. A team of developers may be working on Maps, Google Maps. Another team of developers may be working on Google Meet, right? Another team of developers may be working on Google Slides. There will be big teams who will be working individually. One more team on Google Classroom, Google Earth, Google Ads, isn't it? Now, they will, the developer, suppose the developer who is developing this maps, Google Maps, right? They will first test it. Now, once they, once they add to the Gmail application, right? So different developers will be developing each of these applications. Google Contacts may be developed by some other team, right? At the end of the day, so they have to integrate these together, right? They have to combine all these pieces of code together or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Guys, am I audible, guys?
Sir, sir.
Yes.
Right? So, and once we combine these, right? Again, testing should be done, whether they are working fine or not. For example, if you click on YouTube here, whether YouTube is getting launched or not, isn't it? Suppose if you click on Google Docs, so Google Documents is getting loaded or not. So this should be tested, isn't it? That is called as integration testing. Integration testing is defined as a type of testing where software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. What is the meaning of integration? Right? If you understand the meaning, right, you will not forget. What is the meaning of integration? Let me show you. Integration meaning, right? Integration, the meaning of integration is combining, the action or process of integrating or combining together, that is called as integration. To form or to coordinate or blend into a functioning or unified whole unit. Simply remember that combining things is called as integration. Okay. Now, once all these pieces of code are combined together, right? So again, it is tested in, and that integration is done in an environment called SIT environment, software integration testing environment. Because a typical software project consists of multiple software modules coded by different programmers or teams, right? That's what I explained here. Suppose if you take Gmail example, there are multiple, some modules, multiple applications developed by different teams or different developers. Now, at the end of the day, they have to integrate together into Gmail, right? And while integrating, once it is integrated, right, again it will be tested. Once all those pieces are combined together, or once all those modules are combined together, right, integration testing will be done. And that integration testing will be done in an environment called SIT environment, right? Where SIT stands for System Integration Testing. Okay. Those who attended some other training before, anyone attended, performance testing training before with some other trainer? I just would like to know something.
Yes, sir. I joined, sir.
Okay. So any other trainer or any other institute will go to Loadrunner directly or will go to JMeter directly on the second day. Yes or no? Yes. Second, third day they will start Loadrunner. Otherwise, first day start chestar. They will not explain you what is unit testing, what is integration testing, what is functional testing, etc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? But you need this knowledge. These are fundamentals, software fundamentals that every software engineer should know.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So a typical software project consists of multiple software modules. It consists of multiple software modules coded by different programmers or teams. What is the purpose of doing integration testing? The purpose is to expose the defects in the interaction between these software modules when they are integrated or when they are combined together. We have to check if there are any defects in the interaction or whether they are working as expected or not, right? That is the purpose of integration testing. And this is done in an environment called SIT environment, where SIT stands for System Integration Testing. Clear, guys? Now the next step, is it clear? Shall I move to the next concept or any queries?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next type of testing is functional testing. And functional testing is done in an environment called QA environment, where QA stands for quality analysis or quality assurance. QA stands for quality analysis or quality assurance. So this functional testing will be done in this QA environment. Now, what is this functional testing? Functional testing is a type of black box testing where the system is tested against the functional requirements or specifications. Now let me give some examples for this. What is functional testing? I'll take Gmail example, but I will take some other example. Okay, I'm opening gmail.com. And I observe here I am using a private browser. If I use a normal browser, it will log in directly, right? Suppose in a normal browser, if I type gmail.com, right, it will log in to me directly to the default email, isn't it? So that's why I'm using a private browser. And you know what is the difference between a normal browser and private browser, everyone?
Sir.
How many of you know the difference between a normal browser and a private browser? Right? I'm sure that everyone doesn't know that, right? Each one of you, every one of you doesn't know that. So if you know, please ping me in the Zoom chat. What is the difference between a normal browser and private browser? Ping me separately. Okay, don't ping it to everyone. Please make it fast, please. What is the difference between a normal browser and a private browser? Or else you can tell it over here. Okay, I'll cover that, guys. Okay, so I'm not seeing any response from anyone. Right, I'll cover that. Now, let me take this example. Okay, I'm typing gmail.com. Okay, now I should get this login page. Once I type gmail.com, I should get this login page. Now it is asking for email or phone number. Now I need to enter my email. Okay, so perftest.kb@gmail.com. This is my Gmail ID. Okay. Do I need to enter at gmail.com? Is it mandatory or can I enter only this one, perftest.kb? Anyone? So if I type at gmail.com, right? If I click next, it should ask me for the password. Yes or no? That is how Gmail works. If you click on next, it should ask me for password. If it is a valid email address. Yes or no, guys? Right? But so my question is, so am I audible, guys?
Yeah, now audible.
Okay, I got disconnected in between. Anyways, okay. Suppose you type your Gmail ID here, right? Isn't it? And if you click on next, right? It should ask for a password, right? It should ask for password if you enter a valid email address. Yes or no? But if you don't, guys, are you with me? But if you don't enter some valid email
Yes.
address, instead of that, suppose you type some characters like this. Okay. Hold on. Let me close this. Let me close the developer tools. We'll come to the developer tools. Suppose if I type some invalid email address like this, is this a valid email address? No, right?
No.
Right. So now if I click on next, it will display some error message, right? Enter a valid email or phone number, isn't it? So this is the requirement of this application. This is the functionality of Gmail. If I enter a valid email address and click next, it should ask me for the password, right? If I don't enter valid email address, it should display some error message. This is the functional requirement of this application. This is the functionality. This is how Gmail functions. Clear this? Now, testing that functionality is called as functional testing, whether it is working as per requirement or not, right? Functional testing is a black box testing where the system means nothing but application, where the system is tested against the functional requirements or specifications. So these are the requirements. These are the requirements of Gmail application. That is how it should work, right? So the testing the functionality of the application is called as functional testing, and this is done in an environment called QA environment. Any queries, guys? Till now? Any queries in the concepts that I covered till now?
Clear.
Okay. What is meant by environment? What is meant by environment?
The place what we work.
Okay. So environment here means the computers, nothing but computers. Okay. So the computers on which your application is subjected to functional testing. That is called QA environment. Okay. Here SIT environment means actually like the code will be running on some computers and we will be doing, if you are doing integration testing, that is called as SIT environment. If you are doing functional testing, that is called as QA environment, like that, right? Now, so functions or features are tested by feeding them input and examining the output. And that is what I did. Entered, I have entered the email address and I have tested the output. I have examined the output, right? Functions or features are tested by feeding them input and examining the output. And functional testing ensures that software requirements are properly satisfied by the application. Functional testing ensures that software requirements are properly satisfied by the application. So this is about functional testing. Now the next type of testing is performance testing, right? And it is done in an environment called test environment or engineering environment. Okay. Performance testing is done in an environment called test environment or engineering environment. So performance testing is a non-functional testing. So we are not testing the functionality of the application here. When you are doing performance testing, we don't bother about the functionality because there is separate team for that, for testing the functionality, right? So performance testing is a non-functional testing to find out the speed, responsiveness, stability of a computer, network, software program, or a device. Remember this, understand this. Performance testing is non-functional testing. So we are not bothered about the functionality. We are not testing the functionality of the application, but we test how speed is the application. For example, if you type isaysurveying.com, right? How much is the response time of the page? How much time it is taking to load this page, right? And once you click on login, how much time it is taking to load the login page, right? So this is called as response time or speed of the application. Clear, guys? That is what speed here means. To determine the speed means speed is nothing but response time of a page, right? And responsiveness, how well it is responding and how stable the application is. Okay. So generally, like your net banking application will be having more number of users at what time? During which time your net banking up there you will be generally using the net banking application mostly in a month. నెలలో ఎప్పుడు వాడతాము నెట్ బ్యాంకింగ్ అప్లికేషన్ ఎక్కువగా?
During the start of the month.
Right, during the first week of the month or month end, right? Some companies will pay salary on last day in the week month, isn't it? So you will be logging in and you will be paying the bills or loans or EMIs, etc., etc. Yes or no? Right? You'll check how much is the balance, how much salary was credited, etc., etc. Mostly on the last day of the month, last working day of the month, or first week of the month also. Yes or no? Right? So how stable and so during for every application there will be some peak load during some time, right? And during that peak load, how stable the application is, that is what we also test in performance testing. So performance testing is a non-functional testing to determine an application speed, stability, scalability, and reliability. It is a non-functional testing to determine an application speed, stability, scalability, and reliability, right? And this performance testing is done in an environment called test environment or engineering environment. అంటే like a testing చేసే environment ni it is called as test environment or engineering environment. So apart from this unit testing, integration testing, functional performance testing, there is also called security testing. There are a couple of other types of testing. Okay, testing how secure the application is, right? That is called as security testing, penetration testing. There are a lot of other types of testing. Now we are interested in performance testing and we will focus more on performance testing going forward. But you should know what is the difference between functional testing and non-functional testing. So functional testing means testing the functionality of the application, and it can be classified into two types. One is manual testing, the other one is automation testing. If you are doing functional testing without using any tool, if you are doing manually without using any tool, that is called as manual testing. But if you are doing any tool like Selenium or UFT, etc., to test the functionality, that is called as automation testing. Yes or no? Right? Functional testing can be classified into two types. ఏ టూల్ వాడకుండా టెస్టింగ్ చేస్తే దాన్ని మాన్యువల్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటాం. అదే if you are using any tool like Selenium or UFT, UFT is another tool, Unified Functional Tester, right? Or Unified Functional Testing. Selenium is very popular tool for functional automation testing, isn't it? So if you are using any tools like this to do functional testing, that is called as automation testing, right? Now, both of these, automation testing is also functional testing, but it uses some tool. If you are using some tool, that is called as automation testing. Now, non-functional testing means it is defined as a type of software testing to test the non-functional aspects like performance, security, usability, reliability, right, of a software application. So that is non-functional testing. And performance testing tools, there are some major tools. These are the major tools for doing performance testing: LoadRunner, JMeter, and then NeoLoad, right? LoadRunner is the most popular tool. It is a licensed tool. JMeter is the next popular tool, but this is an open source tool, free tool. NeoLoad is another licensed tool. But these are the popular tools for performance testing: LoadRunner, JMeter, NeoLoad nowadays, right? And these are the difference between functional testing and non-functional testing. So I'll stop it here for today. So I'll be uploading this session also to my YouTube channel for recording purpose. Thanks for watching the video and like, share, subscribe. And if you want
Sir,
to
I
join,
have some questions.
yeah, I'll come to that. So if you want to join the live training, contact me on this WhatsApp number. This is for recording purpose, guys. Okay, I'm doing some marketing. All right, so I'll be uploading to my YouTube channel as a public video. Tomorrow we will discuss, what is performance testing in detail. Okay, what is performance testing? What are the reasons for doing performance testing and all? We will discuss that tomorrow, starting from tomorrow's session. Yes. So meanwhile, we are again, let me repeat it. So we are starting classroom training in KPHB Hyderabad from next week. So there we have limited seats. Limited seats are available there because it is classroom training. So please, if you want to join classroom training, contact me as soon as possible on this WhatsApp. Okay. Online training also, we have a limit of 30 people. Once the batch size, by the way, so one batch have completed JMeter and they will be joining with you, along with you. Okay. So generally my batch size will be 20 to 30, right? So one batch completed, I completed JMeter in daily evening batch and they are going to join you from next Monday for LoadRunner. Okay. So then you will have around like 20 to 30 people in this batch. All right. Now I will open the floor for any questions.
Yes, sir. So, that regarding the technologies, I was having question. So, what are the technologies we are going to learn in this course?
What are the technologies means?
Both LoadRunner and JMeter.
Yes, I will be covering LoadRunner and JMeter. Yes, LoadRunner, JMeter, and BlazeMeter also.
Okay, we are covering 3 topics.
3 topics.
Sorry, 3
yes.
tools. 3 tools.
3 tools. No, not 3 tools. I will cover JMeter along with BlazeMeter. JMeter and BlazeMeter are interlinked actually. With BlazeMeter, you can execute JMeter scripts. Okay. So LoadRunner is, so I am going to start LoadRunner in this evening batch, and JMeter is a separate tool. JMeter and BlazeMeter together are a separate tools.
Is there any programming requirements to learn these tools?
No, not required. So there are no prerequisites. All you need is like 15 years of full-time education. That is the prerequisite. Okay. And the reason is we will not write any code from scratch. Okay. We are not going to write any code from scratch. All these performance testing tools are record and playback tools. Your tool will generate the script and you have to modify the script as per your requirement. Okay. But you will not write any code from scratch. So no programming knowledge is required, but minimum logical skills are required for performance testing career. So that's the reason if someone, raised an inquiry with me, I will ask most of you, I would have asked some percentage questions to test your analytical or logical skills. Right? So you should have minimum logical skills. But no programming knowledge is mandatory. It's not mandatory to have a programming knowledge. So in LoadRunner, we will be using C language, basics of C language. I will cover those basics. And if loop, for loop, that you should know, which I will cover in the training anyways. In JMeter also, I will cover some language basics. So I will cover those. So you don't require, any prior programming knowledge, but you need to have logical skills, minimum logical skills.
And one more question, sir. Like
Yes.
after joining the course, we can have access to the YouTube videos. I think like most of the YouTube videos are like not accessible,
Correct.
like they are
So
hidden.
only demo sessions will be uploaded as public videos. Thereafter, once we start the tool, right? So I will upload as a private videos. I need to provide access. Okay. So only demo sessions will be uploaded as public videos. So you see here, right? This is a public video, yesterday's session. But this is, the running batch. So this is uploaded as a private video, and I need to provide access for those. So once you confirm you're joining and pay the fees, you will get access to the private videos.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other queries? All right then. So if you don't have any other queries, we will stop here. If you want to ask any query one-on-one, you can reach me on my WhatsApp number 0592193199, whatever I have displayed here. So let me go to the slide, right? So save my contact base. Then only you will get my broadcast messages. Okay. Please save my contact so that you will get updates on the new batches and demo sessions, pre-demo sessions, etc., etc. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So signing off for today. We'll catch up tomorrow same time.
Thank you, sir.
And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on all notifications. Then only you will get, I will be frequently uploading, some interview questions like this. I think I have shown you yesterday also. Let me
Yes, sir.
repeat. Right. So we have something called community tab where I will be uploading, interview questions like this and updates on the new batches, etc. Right. So this is, we are starting manual testing training also with ISTQB training, with ISTQB certification. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is the previous batch. So you'll get to know updates like this and interview questions like this. Let me show you. So these are some interview questions. So I'll be posting, whenever I find some free time, I will be posting some interview questions. So unless until you enable all notifications, you will not get this. Okay. And referral openings. Whenever we get some bulk requirement, last month or before last month, we got some bulk requirement for 12 freshers. So at that time, I have posted on my YouTube channel. Got it?
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. So because I cannot reach and every student of mine. So that's why I generally share it through my YouTube channel. And I have a Facebook page also. Please join that Facebook page. Okay. So it's completely free anyways. So I think I have shared that Facebook page in my YouTube channel. Right? In my WhatsApp group. Through my WhatsApp, I already shared it to you. Join my Facebook page. There is one Facebook page called Performance Testing and Engineering Real-Time Training. So let me go to Facebook and show you that the page. Let me show you that particular page. Right? I'll share this link with you. This is my Facebook page, Performance Testing and Engineering Real-Time Training. This is how you'll see this image over here. Right? Join my Facebook page. I'll be posting referral openings and all and updates on my batches, etc. over here also.
Okay,
All
sir.
right? Yeah. I'll share this link to you one more time. So if you haven't joined the page, please join it. All right.
Okay, sir.
So with this, I close the session for today and we'll patch up tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.